It was trending on Twitter late last week, and I wanted to kind of turn into the topic on the show. And it's someone that posted on there about basically listing 8 wrestlers to know the person by. Basically, name 8 wrestlers in the history of the sport of pro wrestling that define your love for wrestling. And I thought this was kind of fun. So I initially had a list on there. I put right away. Well, much thought. Then I say, you know what? Let me rescind that because I want to put a little more thought into it. Because I've been watching wrestling since 1987, and it's been a lot of guys that have come and gone, different promotions, different eras, and there's a lot of guys I do enjoy. I enjoy now, and I enjoy in yesteryear, and so the 8 wrestlers to know me by. If you're a person that sees the WWE or AEW or whatever promotion you see, and you meet me and you're saying, hey, I'm kind of interested in this wrestling thing, but I want to know what wrestlers that you're into wrestling, what wrestlers that you are into that you enjoy the most, whose work you enjoy the most of all time. Who are the 8 guys that you would recommend me check out? Okay, so the 8 guys that my favorite guys, and this is a lot harder to realize. The top 5 or 6 are easy, but the last one was actually a little harder. But I threw this guy in the hat because I really enjoy his matches. The 8 wrestlers to know me by. Here we go. The first one, of course, everybody should know the answer to this one, especially my favorite wrestler of all time, Macho Man Randy Savage. You guys already know. Ooh yeah, right there, Not only a great promo. Not only great promo, of course, also in ring, one of the all-time greats, high flyer, total great story. You watch his classic matches against Steamboat in Mania 3, obviously Flair in the Mania 8 and all that. By the way, I'm gonna do an episode. I'm probably gonna do an unfiltered episode on this feed in the next week or two about my top 5 WrestleMania matches of all time. But Macho Man Randy Savage is my first one. Second one, Hulk Hogan. Say what you want about Hulk Hogan all time. About him in hindsight. But Hulk Hogan is the reason I got into wrestling in the first place. Hulk Hogan is the reason why I sustained wrestling beyond just the early years of Hulkamania. He brought me back into wrestling during the NWO, which also got me into the actual era for WWE eventually down the road. Hogan, I'm considered a Hogan disciple through the years. Followed him when he was good and bad. Stone Cold Steve Austin, another one. Austin, this is easy, obviously. He took the promotion by storm in the late 90s. Pretty much saved his ass out of bankruptcy. Probably, I don't think it's probable. I think he's still the most popular wrestler in the history of pro wrestling today. Even 20-something years later, he is still the biggest name and probably gets the biggest pop in the history of the company. Look at WrestleMania last year. First match in 20 years. And he got a big pop. Every time he shows up at a show, he gets the biggest pop. That's simple. The Rock, obviously, is my fourth one. I prefer heel Rock over babyface Rock. The Hollywood Rock angle in the 03, why I didn't watch it in real time, because I stopped watching at that point. It is, to me, his best work. Wish it did a lot longer. The Rock's the other one. My fifth one is Shawn Michaels, HBK. Someone I grew to love as I got older, because some of my favorite matches of all time. If I did a top 5 list right now, my favorite matches of all time, I guarantee at least 2 or 3 of those are Shawn Michaels matches. My favorite match of all time is actually him and Undertaker from Bad Blood in '97. He had the greatest matches of all time. He was so entertaining. By the way, his run in '97-'98, to me, one of the best runs, sort of the most enjoyable runs I've ever watched in wrestling history. My sixth one here, we lost him last year, actually a year ago last week, Scott Hall / Razor Ramon. Just smooth, great promo, entertaining, great in-ring wrestler, technical wrestler. Some of my favorite matches of all time. He was also involved with that too. Ladder match against Michaels in WrestleMania 10. So he's another one, Scott Hall. My seventh one, it's probably shock some folks here, but follow along. Brock Lesnar. I love Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar is someone that, as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate even more. He goes away for a little while, comes back. I miss him. He comes back. Always fun. Cowboy Brock. You know, I love his early run in 02 and 03. When he came back in 12. He was the right guy to end the streak also, for the record. He was the right guy for that. Because it made sense what they were doing with that storyline with him as dominant Lesnar. Made total sense. Probably my first or second favorite theme entrance in wrestling history. I love his entrance. Love Brock. The eighth one, final one here. This is tough because I had a couple of guys here I had on my list. I had Ravage McRoot on my list at one point for this one. I had Sting on this one point. A couple of guys. I had Bret Hart on my list at one point because I think Bret Hart's matches are fun to watch. Owen Hart's another guy I consider on this one as well, too. I had to put Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. Because his run between 89 and 90, especially, into 91, especially as I look at it as an adult, amazing. One of the most amazing runs I've seen. He made the mid-card matter in a way that was perfect. No pun intended. Kurt Hennig. You know, if his back didn't give out him in 91, and I obviously kept wrestling beyond that, but that back injury was the start of, you know, his decline. But some of the best matches I've seen in my life, you know, if Hogan Ward doesn't go on Mania 6, there's a chance that Hogan and Perfect could have been a Mania 6 matchup. Who knows? Perfect at that point was probably the biggest heel in the company, not named Macho Man. Kurt Hennig was amazing. Love his matches. The match of him and Brett in SummerSlam 91 stands out for me. So, those are my eight guys to know me by. Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall, Brock Lesnar, and Mr. Perfect.